Good morning. This is Monday morning, as I seem to have switched the habit over from Sunday night to make the video, and I'd like to welcome everybody into week 4 and thank everybody for week 3. I think this is once again one of the more vigorous and robust discussion board groups I've ever been involved with, and I am hopeful that everyone else is actually enjoying the discussion as much as I am. I've had a couple people actually comment, wow, this makes me think about things. And this whole course makes me think about things. It makes me try to understand my own feelings, my own actions, my own habits of thought, my own attitudes. And what I really hope we are accomplishing during this course is that we challenge our own thoughts. And sometimes when you challenge your thoughts, we end up confirming them, and that's fine. And sometimes we end up changing them, and that's fine. But the whole idea is that we take the time to critically listen to others, understand ourselves, and understands that sometimes what we think does affect what we do, and what we do does affect other people, and that's very important, particularly in our setting where we're talking about, in the end, forms of organizational behavior as much as personal behavior. And I think to understand that behavior that affects one person, particularly in a negative way, tends to affect the entire organization, or at least the subgroup of the organization, in that same way. And that it's less than perfect, it's less than optimal. And that's what we're trying to learn about. How can we manage ourselves, probably more than anything else, to understand how our behavior affects others and how it affects what goes on in our organizations, and how can that be positive for both individuals and groups, and to get the best results for everybody, and the best atmosphere for everybody, and the best actually quality of work life and personal life for everyone. So that editorial being accomplished, let's move on and look at a little bit of what we reviewed last week. And it struck me, even though we did emphasize in the design of the course a couple of subjects, the two ones that got most from me, at least from my reading of everything, were the issue of weight discrimination, and I think I made my feelings clear to a lot of people on that. I said, sometimes I wonder if it really is weight and not just appearance, and appearance leads to other issues which we're going to be coming to. And of course, age, and I think many of you, if you read my comments, kind of discovered that, yes, that's something I'm probably a little more sensitive to now that I'm kind of in a period where, at least even when I grew up in my career, the age of 65 was considered, early on, 40 years ago when I got into business, well, guess what? That was the time you were going to retire, and that was it, and just kind of go out to pasture and live out your life. I'm 65 now, and yes, I've retired from one full-time position, but I've kind of filled my time with enough to make another, and I have no intention of really retiring. I am really interested in going on and doing different things with my professional life right now. Not just my personal life, my professional life. So I think several of you, when you saw my answers to some of your commentary, see that, yeah, I get a little touchy, if you will, about the issue of age, because it's something now that I'm starting to feel directly. And I think that attitude that I had, we'll see it in all of us as we go and get into an issue that touches us directly. And we'll be a little bit more passionate about it. And those are the kind of things I think I expect in the class, and that's what's going to help other people learn. So that was great. This week we're going to actually move into looking more specifically at 3 other categories that probably we've come to think that the average person, if there is such an individual, probably thinks of first when they think about discriminatory practices, and they think about diversity in the workplace. And the three issues are race, gender, and marital status. And probably race and gender come to mind first for most people because they are the most common that we've heard about. In our society, they're probably where we've had the most, at least obvious difficulties over not even hundreds of years, probably thousands of years. And for the most part, too, they're very visible, they're very apparent. And it's not something what you have to make inquiries about. So this is a different way of looking at things. And I think we've noticed in our society there's been a lot of progress, there's been a lot of backward movement, there's still a lot of tension, there's still a lot of work to be done. And I, for one, am looking very forward to this week's discussion. I think it's going to be an excellent time for us to, as I said earlier, challenge our own attitudes. And we may find that we want to change, may find that we don't. But when I say challenge, I really mean that. I want us all to think critically and continue to do the kind of work we've been doing. And I think the discussions in particular have shown real evidence of critical thought. And the papers, these annoying short papers, but they certainly make us sit down and think and try to put into words what our attitudes are. And again, my definition of an attitude, it's a habit of thought, and habits of thought control our behaviors. Behaviors control our perceptions of other people and other people's perceptions of us. Behaviors yield results, and sometimes those results are great, sometimes they're not so great. So this is what I think we are all about here. I did think I made most of my goal this week. I think I got to everybody's paper, unless I had heard from you earlier and we made some sort of arrangement. I got them all done on Wednesday. I'm going to try again to get the discussion boards done by Tuesday and Wednesday at the latest. This is so that if there is any feedback to you, that it's something you can use and apply towards the current week's work. I think that's the best way we can do it. I'm still trying to make better writers out of all of us. You agree or disagree, but I really feel strongly about the idea of professional communication. I think that comes through in some of my comments. I also think that what we have to do is to understand that how we present our ideas often lends credibility to them, and that's why I'm so kind of picky about it sometimes. And so again, if I annoy you or offend you, it's all with good intent. So that's my comment on that, so keep it up. Probably my comments are going to be getting a little less voluminous, because if you've heard it before, I'm just going to remind you of it. If it's something radically different, up or down on the scale of performance level, you're going to hear about it. If things are going along just fine, you're going to hear less about it, because that's the pattern we've settled into and we're all comfortable with it. So overall, I think the performance is excellent this course. I'm very happy with it. It's been a fun course. I always look forward to teaching in subject matter of org behavior and human behavior, because I think those are what produce the results in our individual relationships and our organizational success. So once again, if you have any questions, people have been very open in contacting me. I hope I'm getting back to you fast enough. I think I am. If I'm not, let me know, and I look forward to this week and hope it's a success for everyone. Thank you.